That is not true because America is the land of the free, and America is supposed to welcome everybody. That's basically the premise of this country.
But if white people thought that they were superior, then it wouldn't be the land of the free for everybody. It would just be the land of the free for white people.
Well, they do think they're superior because they actually stole the land from the rightful owners
Not
and claimed
true.
it.
Not true.
So, well, anyway,
That's fake news.
and particularly, when we had, white supremacists marching,
No
and
such thing as white supremacists.
well, white people who think that they're superior.
No, it's the blacks
And
thinking that. White people do not think that they're superior. Black people, not all, but most, think that white people are superior. And because black people think that, they think that white people are thinking that. But believe me, if white people thought that they were superior, you would not be in America. You would still be in Nigeria.
Wow, guys, you can make this up. You can make this up. Guys, welcome to Culture War. This lady is an American, a Nigerian, born in America. So she has her US citizenship, but her parents are immigrants. Fine. She goes back to Nigeria, does her, primary schools and all that. And she comes back to America and she finishes her university and all that, college. She comes out. Obviously, she's doing well for herself. Obviously, she's doing well for herself career-wise. But you know what? She still feels like a victim. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Victimhood 101. If you've not subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to get more videos like this. Without further ado, let's dive in.
I gotta ask, are you dancing on the ceiling after the tax cut that happened in Washington, D.C. yesterday?
Not really.
I gotta ask, are you dancing on the ceiling after the tax cut that happened in Washington, D.C. yesterday?
Not really. I mean, listen, I feel like Trump is, he's proud of himself, and the GOP, they're proud. This is a historic moment for them.
Yes.
But I think that it's a little bit more layered and complex than what we're being presented. I don't think, I think the scope of it is a lot broader than they want to admit. And, as they say, time will tell whether or not, all the celebrations are warranted. I mean,
are you happy that you're gonna be bringing more money home from work now on your paycheck? You happy about that?
I will be extremely happy if I have evidence of that. Yes, of course.
Okay.
Until that happens.
How about, are you happy that Boeing and Comcast, Wells Fargo Bank said on yesterday that they're giving out raises now, they're giving bonuses as a result of this tax cut?
Well, that's what they say. People say a lot of things.
You don't believe them?
I believe that they believe it, but it really comes down to the people that are affected by this, the people who are just regular Americans who work really hard and who have spent way too long, being deprived of their portion of the American dream. So once that is realized for them, and there's evidence of that,
well, the people who will be receiving the bonuses and internal raises are regular people. They're the working class.
Right. But we have to, that has to happen. You can have an agenda, but, if the check marks are missing from that agenda, then, items are still pending. So we're still in the pending phase, regardless of.
So you keep saying we shall see. You believe that the president, you think that the president is lying and all the Republicans are lying about this?
Well, I wouldn't go that far. What I will say is that they have a very official way of presenting, their truth and, their truth. And so, we don't have any choice but to, listen to it. And there's nothing wrong with being hopeful. and also observing and waiting to see how things play out. But
Are
I think
you
it's a little
happy?
premature to.
Are you happy that black unemployment rate is at its lowest point in 17 years since 2000? So are you happy about that? Black unemployment rate is at its lowest point under this great white hope.
Well, I would say that on the job market in itself is a very it's a system that has been sort of analyzed over time, and whatever.
No, are you happy that unemployment rate?
I mean, if that is the case, that is
Yes,
great news.
that is the
Absolutely.
case.
That's,
It is the case.
but again, we're given all these sort of manifestos. We're told about all these amazing things that are happening, but the reality is there are a lot of people that you talk to, people that I know, and you read about people that are not really experiencing these revelations yet. So I mean,
So, are you just hanging around crazy people or something?
no, I'm hanging around people like me, people like me who are trying to make it, who are doing what we need to do to survive, but it keeps getting harder and harder
Well,
to move
now,
forward.
don't worry. It's getting better now. I do want to
Well,
ask you, you keep saying it's their truth. Is their truth different than your truth?
what you mean, the GOP or,
Yes.
well, yeah, I mean, I think that, I think, you know, there is definitely, the country is divided. There's this polarization between a lot of people from economic statuses, race, the whole gamut. So it's sort of like, we're all just trying to figure out where we fit in this, in this
Not me. I
landscape.
know where
That,
I fit in.
oh, okay.
I
Well,
fit
I mean,
right
people,
in as an American citizen,
okay. I mean, we
living my
are American,
life, treating people the way
right?
I like to be treated. I know
Right.
exactly where I fit.
Right. And that's
You
awesome
don't
that.
know where you fit in.
Well, I think a lot of people of color are trying to figure that out because
What's
we have
wrong with
a lot.
you? What's wrong with you people that you can't figure your own life out?
Well, we would like to if we were treated equally. If we were given, if we were treated with the same respect and given the same opportunities to thrive. If we were
What does
not
that mean? Treated
targeted.
equally? Are
Well,
you?
there's
Are you? I don't know what that means. Are you, as a black person, unable to get up and get a job?
well, as a black person, as a woman, there are things that I have to consider
Well,
when
I
I
do
am
too as
trying
a
to.
man.
Right. Well, the problem is, there is still a lot of there's a lot of baggage that comes with being a person of color and trying to, live decently in a society where you are constantly being persecuted.
Why
You know,
is it?
so,
Why is it a lot of baggage being a person of color? Why not just get over your blackness and just
right,
become a human being and no one really
right.
cares?
Well, that would be awesome. I
Why
mean,
don't
that
you
would be
do
really,
it?
well, we would love to do it if we
Well,
were
why
given,
don't you do it?
because it's just not reality. It's not reality in this country
It
that we can.
is. White people don't care about your color at all. Not one
Well,
iota.
the statistics don't prove that. If you
Amazing.
look at what we've gone through in especially the past 4 to 5 years, the horrifying, um, occurrences that have happened, the victims that have been murdered literally on the streets,
But
that
that's
whole.
because you people are into your color rather than character. But let me ask, and you do know that for the last 4 or 5 years, we had the fallen Messiah, Barack Obama, in the White House. So you wrote
Wow.
and speaking of the fallen Messiah, you wrote a post, Dear President Trump, why you protect white America?
Uh-huh.
Who looks out for the rest of us?
Right.
Um, what does that mean?
Well, it just basically means that, like I said, the country is very divided right now racially. It always sort of has been, but, I think social media has sort of helped to amplify everything because now everyone has a voice and everything is just more potent. And particularly, when we had, white supremacists marching.
No
And
such thing as white supremacists.
well, white people who think that they're superior.
No, it's the blacks
And
thinking that. White people do not think that they're superior. Black people, not all, but most, think that white people are superior. And because black people think that, they think that white people are thinking that. But believe me, if white people thought that they were superior, you would not be in America. You would still be in Nigeria.
well, that is not true, because America is the land of the free, and America is supposed to welcome everybody. That's basically the premise of this country.
But if white people thought that they were superior, then it wouldn't be the land of the free for everybody. It would just be the land of the free for white people.
Well, they do think they're superior because they actually stole the land from the rightful owners.
Not
and
true.
claimed it.
Not true.
So, anyway.
That's fake news.
Well, that maybe, yeah. I mean, everyone has their version of fake news. So if that's your version, that's your version. But white people that are marching to declare themselves, to sort of vent about not being, it's like you already are in a position of power, and yet you still feel the need to amplify that power by marching to say that we deserve to be heard, when you clearly are like, we are the ones, people of color are the ones that are marginalized and not given the opportunity to really claim this country as our own.
That's amazing. No one is stopping you. White people
doesn't do anything about it. Instead, he gives them, he endorses what they're doing.
Who, Obama?
Trump. That is why I made that.
You wrote this letter, dear President Trump. Oh, President Trump. Oh, I was thinking it was Obama. So Trump is endorsing.
That's what I said.
Right, I'm sorry.
He's endorsing this division. He was actually put in power by people who want that division, who support the fact that, listen, we had Obama for 8 years. It was a nightmare.
It definitely was.
We can't deal with it anymore. We need to go back to what we know. We need a white man in the White House who is for us. And they got it. But they got it.
Well, we gave you people a black president for 8 years. I didn't give it to you because I didn't vote for it.
Well,
you guys just made things worse.
It had nothing to do with his color. It had to do with his competence,
his
patriotism.
I want to go quickly back to this post that you wrote. Dear President Trump, why you protect white America who looks out for the rest of us? I want to know, do you support a big, beautiful wall around the borders?
No.
You do not?
No.
And why not? In short, why not?
Are you talking about building the wall?
Yes.
The Mexican. Well, first of all, I think to have somebody of Trump's stature and status, basically evoke this dishonest sort of almost criminal way of describing, Mexicans, saying that they're rapists.
No, why is it that you are not for the wall?
I'm not for it because I don't really see what we will gain from it.
Okay, let me tell you. The president is for it.
Oh, yes, I know he is.
But you want the president to look out for you. He's doing it by bringing jobs back, by lowering taxes, getting rid of so many restrictions and regulation, putting a big, beautiful wall up around the borders so that the illegal aliens don't come in and take jobs from you and bring drugs and crime in your neighborhood. He's protecting us from criminal aliens.
We have people in this country who are killing other Americans.
Well, he want you to stop doing that too. He want the black on black crime to stop.
Well, that is not the black on black crime. Is to me that's a premise that's just kind of like overplayed. I mean,
it's not overplayed. Have you gone to Chicago?
White men are killing us.
No,
they are.
Have you?
Yes, they are.
Not true.
They are literally. I mean, we had some. Are you kidding me?
They're
the ones that are killing us in this country. But they are never, ever. They never claim that. They're never described as terrorists. They're just described as mentally ill. When white.
How about the black killing? How about the black on black crime?
The black on black crime that people love to bring up is sort of like this
Love to
sort of
bring up.
game that yeah, they play this game of, oh, well, Black people. First of all, when you look at the history of Black people in this country and what we've had to endure, I don't want to really go back to slavery, but
Thank you.
I do want to bring up the repercussions of that. The fact that, we are, Black men are targeted more
By other
than
black
the other
people.
race, not by other Black people, but by the law.
Resonate.
The system has been created to ensure that Black people don't
Anthony,
correct.
Anthony,
Yes.
let me say something nice about you.
Okay.
I like the fact that you're not an angry black woman. You don't have
No, I'm
that
not
same.
angry. I'm
But
concerned,
the
but
average
I'm
black
not angry.
woman would have been gone off by now. But you,
I'm concerned, but I'm not angry.
you
I'm
have an
concerned.
interesting background that I want to just touch on for a minute.
Okay.
Your parents are from Nigeria. You
Yes,
were born here in America,
I
and
was.
you were raised. And at some point, they moved back to Nigeria. You went with them
Yeah, when
back
I was
there.
8.
When you were
Yeah,
8, you finished school, then you came back here to
when I was
America
18. Right.
and went to college.
Yes.
And while in college, you develop this negative attitude about white people because you say you were not into the black and white thing at one point until you went to college.
Yeah, well,
And I've
I
noticed
wasn't
that
aware.
I noticed that colleges around the country are traumatizing and corrupting black people and young whites. So I warn white people and blacks not to send your kids to the colleges
No, no, that is
because it
not true.
corrupt you. They
I
brainwash you.
No, absolutely not. In fact, it was the opposite. I mean, for me, it was a learning experience. I mean, I went to an all-white school, like in Nevada, Missouri, somewhere. It was an all-white town, an all-white school. There were only 3 Black students. I was one of the 3. So it gave me the opportunity to sort of be a minority for the first time because, coming from Nigeria, I mean, it's Africa.
But
You're
you
not.
didn't care about that at the time because you had the
No,
right
I didn't
attitude.
care. I didn't care. But then I moved to New York and I got a better idea of how things work, of just the way it all plays out. Actually, I got a more acute idea when I went to the University of Missouri in Kansas City. That's a city that is quite segregated. And so I got to really understand the way the whole how racial relations play out in real life and how complex
So
it
you
can
were
be.
brainwashed.
No, I wasn't brainwashed. I was just happy to get my own education as opposed to people telling me what to think
But
or
just
giving
think
me
about
their
this. You went into the school with no anger in your heart toward white
no.
people, with no sense
I'm
of
not I'm not angry.
separation, and they
Right, right.
brainwashed you. You came out, now you're into your blackness. You got your
Well,
hair done, the whole thing.
well, no, it's not really being into my blackness. I just feel very proud of who I am and what I am
What are
because
you?
this is just, well, I'm a Black woman,
No, don't be
and
proud about that. Be proud of
I
being a woman of character. Never
well,
mind your
I'm proud of
color.
that too. But color does play a big role
No,
in how we're perceived.
only in
If
your
I
mind.
Not in our mind, no, in real life, that is the fact. That is the fact. If you look at the way marginalized people are treated compared to white people in every situation,
Let me tell you
I
this.
mean, the race is a big part
Let
of
me tell
how
you
we
this.
exist.
It's your
It's the base
attitude.
house of everything.
It's your attitude that creates a perception. And so when
Yeah,
I first meet you, I don't see you as an angry, black, out of control woman blaming the world for your problem, right? But
right.
so I have a nice perception of you. But once
Uh-huh.
we get to talking and I see
Mhm.
how brainwashed you are, it changes.
It's
It's
not a matter of being brainwashed. It's a matter of being aware. You have to be aware of what you're dealing with when you step out into the world. I mean, for example, take Sandra Bland, for instance. Sandra Bland was a young Black woman who was, stopped by a state trooper for a traffic violation. And if this had happened to a white woman, she would be alive today. But because Sandra Bland was a woman who was aware of who she was, aware of her rights, she knew that the person that she was dealing with was sort of taking advantage of the fact that she probably didn't know that she was being sort of bamboozled.
but
So
you know what,
she took the initiative to stand up for herself and she paid for it with her life. So
right?
these
But
are
what
the
you're
things
leaving
that you have.
out, Would you leave it out about Sandra Bland? According to all the reports, she committed suicide. She was very depressed. She had tried to commit suicide prior to going to jail, and
That's
this
a very
time
good
she
point. That's
succeeded. But
right.
you're giving out fake news by leaving that out and
Well,
giving
no,
the
actually, I'm glad you
impression
brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up.
that the cops killed her.
Right. No, I'm glad you brought that up because, again, going back to my point, white people have the ability and the privilege to be mentally unhinged, to have issues. You know, a white man rents a hotel room and literally sprays bullets on people in a concert, and his brain is being studied by researchers in Stanford University because they're like, oh my God, a white
As a
man
day.
cannot commit something like this
As a
and
day.
be mentally well.
As a
But if a
day.
black person does it, he's thrown into jail and given,
As a
the
day. As
jail.
a day.
Yes, yes.
Next week, I want you back on, and we're going to take the whole hour because you've written some very interesting things about mental illness and about all of
Okay.
this stuff. And so
Okay.
I want to have you back next week so we can devote the whole hour to it and take phone calls as well. How about that?
Okay, let's do it.
We'll do it early next week.
Okay.
And I'm glad you don't have that black attitude.
Listen,
Thank-
I am who I am.
All right, we'll have you back Wednesday or Thursday. We'll get in contact with you.
I don't know about you guys, but I think this lady is brainwashed. Just like Jesse said, Jesse just hit the nail on the head. She was okay before she got into the university, but when she got into the university, she was not introduced to racism, aka CTR. Sorry, CRT, critical race theory. That's what she's been indoctrinated by. Unfortunately, this is what is happening to so many young black students, young youths, the young black whites as well. You know, it's crazy, and this has to stop. I hope with Trump's election, they need to look into the CRT thing and probably deleted from the school educational system. People need to go to the university to get education, not go to be indoctrinated. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd like to see your reaction in the comment section. I'd like to see that and I'll react to it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. God bless.